Well, hi everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on TravMedia Meets. I'm Henry Hemming, Global Advisor to TravMedia. It's wonderful to have you here. Welcome to our latest Meet the Teams webinar, in which we get up close and rudely personal with some of the top brands in travel publishing. And today, and very much, I think, long overdue, we get to meet the expeditionary force at the helm of JRNY, publishers of JRNY and JRNY America. JRNY is one of the newest and most exciting brands to have exploded onto the travel media space in recent years. So this session really is a gourmet treat for me, and I hope for all of you. So let me quickly introduce our guests so that they can say hello and give a wave. From JRNY, we have co-founder and editor-in-chief of JRNY Travel Magazine and JRNY America, Cav Dadfar. Hi, Cav.
Hi everyone, how you doing?
Great to have you here. We welcome Lauren Jarvis, the editor of JRNY Travel Magazine. Hey, Lauren.
Hi, nice to see everyone. Thanks for joining in.
Brilliant. And we have James Draven, the editor of JRNY America. Hey, James.
You all right, lads and lasses?
And finally, Simon Wilmore, who is head of digital, sub-editor JRNY Travel Magazine, and currently acting editor on JRNY America. All will be explained. Simon, always a great treat.
Afternoon, Henry. Afternoon, everyone. Thanks in advance for your time today, Henry. Looking forward to talking about JRNY.
Cheers, Si. It's wonderful to have you here. So let's sort of get going. So JRNY is an award-winning title created by ultimately passionate travel freelancers, and it's fair to say that these titles have become recognized for their memorable features, standout imagery, and long-form storytelling, which in this day and age is just so wonderful to see. Proper full-length travel stories. We love them. Keep going. I'm delighted their top team is here to tell us more about JRNY and things like their sizzling brand refresh we've just seen. They will also advise dear PR viewers out there how to pitch ideas and stories and trips into the team. And yes, both of these titles are in the running for this year's TravMedia Awards, which are dangerously close. On the 22nd of June, they're being held at the Londoner in Leicester Square. Both titles are finalists for Travel Publication of the Year. Amazing, sponsored by Gran Canaria. So if you want to know the results of that award and all the others, book your place at the Londoner now. I've heard the evening is completely unmissable. I'm about to pass to the JRNY team, which you'll all be relieved to hear, to let them give you a little overview of their titles, their print and digital output, and their relationship with you, PR pros. I know we've also got some freelance journalists in the audience. Let me remind you, if you've got questions, please start putting them in the Zoom Q&A now, and I'll try and give you a shout out. If you could put your company name in with the question, that would be great. And do share your thoughts from today on social. Thanks to all 250 plus people who registered for today, not just in the UK, but globally. And a big thanks to anyone in America who's got up early to join us. So let's get cracking. I'm going to turn to our guests one by one to give a little overview of JRNY and their role within the business. And naturally, first up, we have Cav Dadfar, who is co-founder and editor-in-chief. Cav oversees the editorial direction of both titles. He's played a central role in shaping JRNY into becoming a premium travel publication. His work across both magazines is driven by a commitment to depth, originality, and strong visual storytelling. As an editor and accomplished travel photographer, he brings a clear creative vision to every issue, I would argue, all of which seems to resonate with JRNY's highly engaged readership. And the big thing for Cav is that JRNY treats travel as something to be understood, not simply consumed. So here's to that. Cav, great to have you here today. Please, over to you to say a little bit more.
Thanks so much, Henry, and thank you to everyone who's joined us. Gosh, it feels like a whirlwind. I was trying to work out how many years it's been. I think it's coming up to about 7 from when we originally came up with the idea of JRNY. So I can't believe 7 years have gone by. It seems like a long time. But as many of you know, we've grown quite a bit in that 7 years. We launched with one title. We now have 2. We've also created supplements. Our website has just had a brand new refresh, which Simon will talk about. We added a podcast, which we are just in the process of refreshing. We've also just recently launched something called JRNY Originals, which is as part of our JRNY 360 offering. And I've actually just been out in the US for the last month with our team to film what's going to be 12 episodes of Journey Originals across 2 seasons. And all I can say is that you guys are in for a treat. It's going to be an absolutely amazing, amazing 2 seasons. Really, my main role is to oversee both titles and all of our sort of other channels to just make sure that we have a consistent approach across everything that we do, both from a visual and editorial point of view, but also to ensure that things are marrying up. You know, generally we try and work across multi-platform. That's something that came out of our reader survey recently, in which our readers are really looking for things beyond just, you know, a one-off article in a one-off magazine. And so my primary role is to support the guys that on the screen and basically let them do all the hard work and then take the credit for it. Oh, you're on mute, Henry.
Very succinctly put, Cav. Thank you for that. You slightly shocked me because I thought you would say it even more, but I think you've covered it. So great thank you for getting things going. That's wonderful. So we're going to turn next to Lauren Jarvis, the editor of JRNY Travel Magazine, great writer and editor. I'm also going to say a brilliant industry networker. I just can't think of anyone who hasn't got Lauren on their social media channels and all their connections. So Lauren is in charge at JRNY, overseeing the editorial content, commissioning, editing and writing copy. She's had 25 years experience in consumer B2B and contract publishing across a range of titles. I'm not going to mention titles on today's webinar because I think the focus should be JRNY, but she's written for lots of top titles and launched titles. She's traveled extensively on assignment across all 7 continents, taking on challenges ranging from reaching Everest Base Camp to canoeing the Yukon River. Lauren, absolute pleasure to have you here. Please give us a few details on your role within JRNY.
Will do. Thanks so much, Henry. Really kind words there. And we're all really happy to be here and speaking to everyone. And it's great to see so many people signed up as well. So yeah, I took over from Emma Gibbs, the brilliant Emma Gibbs, who was the launch editor for JRNY. And I started in February. So I look after, as you say, like commissioning and the editing for the magazine at the moment. But as you can see, like this is, you know, quite a small team. I'm still freelance as well. Everyone is still freelance. So we're also working on other projects too. But really the key focus is JRNY. And with this small team, we can really like make some sort of decisions very quickly. And I think that's sort of what I've really loved about joining JRNY as well, is that, you know, this is the team. We can talk very creatively, we can get things through and work together really well. So we have 3 issues a year. They come out in January, June and October. We're literally just putting the June issue to bed, which is the first one that I've been editing. And then we're pretty much fully commissioned for October. But there are a few things that I'm still looking for, so we'll talk about those a bit more later. It's very broad ranging, the content in JRNY, and what is so great about it, as you say, is that we have lots of space to really tell some wonderful stories and to give writers and the destination some real brilliant space, you know, where we can really dive deep into certain issues. So the key pillars that we look to cover each issue are luxury, adventure, budget, sustainability, offbeat, culture, nature and wildlife, food and drink, cities, and UK travel. We also do hotel reviews. We have a news section up front, which we're always looking for stories from our PR friends and community. And we've just introduced a new interview section as well, where we will be interviewing famous celebrities, people to do with travel, and that's also being filmed and put on the website too. So definitely lots happening and working in partnership with Online and JRNY America as well.
Thank you for that, Lauren. Next, we turn to the inimitable James Draven, the editor of JRNY America. James edits, commissions and shapes the title. He's also a formidable and highly creative travel writer. He's passionate about platforming writers and stories from underrepresented communities. And some of his areas of specialization are adventure, wildlife, indigenous communities, nature and conservation. He's explored a mere 116 countries and 45 US states. And his work appears across a plethora of A-list titles. And his writing was selected for the anthology publication, The Best British Travel Writing of the 21st Century. He's won over a dozen awards. Nice work, James. And he's currently working on his first book for Bloomsbury, The Nocturnal Traveller. Take it away, Mr. Draven.
All right, formidable. That makes me sound like a right battle axe. Just wanted to thank Si for also putting me in the Best British Travel Writing of the 21st Century. Checks in the post, mate. But anyway, yeah, I'm the editor of JRNY America magazine, which is specifically about the USA rather than the Americas. Just thought I'd get that in there now because you'd be amazed how many people go, "Oh, will you come to Chile?" And I'm like, I'd love to, but no. So yeah, JRNY America magazine covers the USA. It's published 4 times a year. We've got a circulation of around 45,000 and a reach of 115,000. And unlike our older sister, we are sort of thematic. Each issue is themed around a different theme, so we're currently on the World Cup issue. The next issue that Si is working on is the 250th anniversary of the USA, obviously. While I'm working on my book, I should add, I am on hiatus, and Si is basically doing all the hard work for me. And I'm just taking all the credit, really. But that's it. Yeah, so every issue is themed, and we'll discuss themes more throughout the course of the webinar, I'm sure. But yeah, that's about it.
Well, that brings us to the man who does all the work, Si Wilmore.
At least Henry knows that.
Sub-editor, JRNY Travel Magazine, and acting editor, JRNY America. Chief cook and bottle washer. I hope I've covered off your job title correctly, Simon. So Si is
butler. Yeah.
Again, check. Si is the longest serving member of the JRNY team besides the founders, and under his leadership, the JRNY website has ramped up a mere 1.3 million page views a month. That's pretty impressive. As an award-winning journalist, editor, and broadcaster, Simon has worked across multiple top media brands and talks regularly at industry events such as WTM and Traverse. As James mentioned, he co-edited the best-selling anthology, The Best British Travel Writing of the 21st Century. I think that was during his term as the youngest ever, and he remains young, chairman of the British Guild of Travel Writers from 2019 to 2022. And he's currently their broadcaster of the year for his work for the really brilliant JRNY podcast. I think that's a podcast with a difference. Really enjoy listening to that, which has received over 120,000 downloads. I will say he's also an industry legend. Having had a night out in Beale Street, Memphis with Simon, I can say his endurance skills are unequaled in the entire travel industry. Mr. Wilmore, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Henry. Hi again, everyone. Thanks, TravMedia, for the opportunity to talk today. As Henry has said, just to kind of clarify, yeah, I'm the sub-editor of JRNY, the acting editor of JRNY America, but I also manage JRNYMag.com, our website, which incorporates content from both magazines and unique content. I think, as always with digital, kind of statistics are hugely important. So I'm just going to hit you with a wall of numbers for a second, folks. Hopefully that's okay. Henry, you said 1.3 million monthly page views. It's now 1.4 monthly page views, which is nice to be able to report. And we just hit 50,000 readers in a day, just about 4 or 5 days ago. So 50,000 daily readers. And that's about 1.8 page views per session. And it's about 98% organic traffic averaged across the last 90 days. In terms of kind of PRs wanting to get coverage online, the best thing I would say is that once a month we do a news roundup, which is things like snippets of news, hotel openings, flight routes, events and festivals coming up, new exhibitions, museums, etc. And you can send all of those kind of press releases to news@jrnymag.com, and we'll look to include those in the roundup. We can talk a little bit about the content that works online now, Henry, if you like, or we can.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, by all means.
Great.
Yeah, so as Lauren and James have said on their individual magazines, slightly different content for digital, including the stuff that gets published across both. But yeah, slightly different normally. Things like listicles always work really, really well online. But we always make a real point of making sure that it's in keeping with the kind of the original journey concept, which kind of in a nutshell is destinations you don't know, or destinations you might know, but stories you wouldn't. So give you a great example of some of those that have performed really well recently. Things like Nevada road trips that reveal parts of the state that many people miss. So everybody knows Las Vegas, everybody knows Reno, perhaps. This is what else is out there. James did one recently, which was 4 parks in 14 hours, the Walt Disney World Challenge, again, which is, everyone knows Walt Disney, but doing it in a slightly different way is what Journey is all about. And then even things like 8 small towns in Illinois that you should visit. Quite niche, but performs really, really well, and is super, super useful for anyone looking for that kind of information. Also, we do things like kind of op-eds. Cav is he's never hidden the fact that he's a massive fan of Las Vegas, and he did a really well performing op-ed, opinion piece about why he no longer apologizes for loving Las Vegas, again, which something completely different really, but performed really well. And then there's a podcast as well. Henry was right when he said that I do everything. I do the podcast as well, which is the award-winning Journey podcast, and we're always looking for destinations to partner with to produce audio content for that. It's like an interview style. And what we say is it's pioneers, trailblazers, and thought leaders who are pushing the envelope in the travel industry. So if you know anybody relevant to your client base, feel free to get in touch, simon@journeymag.com. We've also got a very exciting World Cup podcast, which I'm sure will come up later on, but I'll just tease that for now because I've spoken for ages already. Thanks, Henry.
Cool, Si. And I think it'd be good to hear from you or Cav on the commercial partnerships that the publication gets involved with, because that can sometimes be relevant in a growing relationship with PR. So talk to us about that.
Sure, absolutely. So I think the one thing I would say, and I keep getting told this, so I don't know if that means we should put our prices up, but everyone tells us that we are incredibly good value for what we offer. And I think that's actually one of the things I've been most proud of since we started Journey, is that, we've been able to support not just the big destinations, but some of the smaller ones too. And so really the way we work on a commercial side is, of course, we offer the usual, display advertising in the magazine through page advertising and things like that. But actually growingly, we're working on sort of partnerships that transcend across multiple platforms. And that might include some content in the magazine. It might include some online content. It might include some social media promotion around that. And actually, our biggest offering, which we launched last year, is something called JRNY 360. It's our sort of flagship product. It's something that came out of directly out of our reader survey that we did over the last couple of years. We've had, almost just over 40,000 responses in that time, and that really helped us not only reshape the way we cover things in the magazine, so that kind of led to a bit of a refresh of the magazine, which came out last year, but also in terms of how we work with destinations. And really, JRNY 360 is around not just one piece of content, but a whole year's worth of activity across multiple platforms, and that includes the JRNY Originals, which is a bespoke season filmed around a particularly well-known destination, or even sort of a slightly lesser-known destination, but really telling those lesser-told stories, those untold stories. And that is then supported in the magazine through editorial coverage, through advertorial coverage, online through articles, creating something new that we've created on our website called the Destination Hub to house all of that content, and then also supported in social media as well. So there are plenty of options. I won't bore everyone and go through each one individually, but I think the thing I would say is that if you are a destination or a partner that wants to work with Journey and you think that I've only got X amount of budget, the best thing to do is just to get in touch, because I'm almost certain we'll have something that will work for you. And we will work with the partners in creating something that works to their objective, rather than just the kind of a cookie cutter, this is what you can buy. But yeah, the best thing to do with that is email me at cav@journeymag.com, or our senior partnerships manager, who isn't on this call, Fabian, PHABIEN @journeymag.com. And we'll be more than happy to kind of set up a call or meet in person and actually go through your objectives. So yeah, there are plenty of opportunities there as well.
Cool. Thanks, Cav. That's great. Lauren.
Yeah, I just wanted to add as well, definitely with JRNY and JRNY America, when we do work with partners and PRs in that way, when it's more sort of like commercial content, you'll still be having the content created by our top team of JRNY and JRNY America freelancers as well. So we're working with them on our commercial content as well. And we're all, working really closely with the partnership team to make sure that they're, they stand up as great editorial ideas as well as being on the commercial side.
Super, Lauren. And Si, I've actually got a follow-up question for you from the audience.
Sure.
On everything you said. Just a reminder to the audience, love your questions, so do start putting them in the Q&A. Sarah Faith at Responsible Travel says, do you commission digital-only content, or do all articles appear both online and in print? And I guess I'd add, if you do commission digital-only, what do you particularly look for something to work digitally?
Yeah, thanks for your question. Sarah, was it Henry?
Sarah.
Yeah, thanks for your question, Sarah. Yeah, so there is stuff that goes in JRNY America. There is stuff that goes in JRNY Original, let's call it. There is also stuff that goes just in on the website, exactly as the question went. So, in fact, I can say now something that's probably a good way to stay in touch with us moving forward. For digital content, a lot of what we do will come through pitch call outs. So if you go to jrnymag.com, jrnymag.com/contribute, there will be a whole page worth of stuff. There'll be a sign up form that you can add your details into for when digital content is being commissioned. We'll send it out in that email and you'll get the details. Hopefully that answers your question.
I think that's great. So, okay, so I've got a couple of questions of my own. And I'm going to start off with one for Lauren. So I want to lean into your magazine's identity and what you look for. And I know it's kind of slow and sustainable and deep visual narratives and fresh perspectives. So, you're gaining recognition for delivering just that. What about the PR professionals who represent highly exposed, well-trodden classic destinations like, New York or Rome? What is the kind of, can you give us examples of really surprising angles or untold neighborhood stories that have helped you commission a piece? And I don't mean New York or Rome, choose whatever you like, but could you give us a little flavor of what makes a JRNY story, some great examples?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, as you say, the reason why we do work this way is because JRNY readers are incredibly well traveled. So 70% of our readers travel at least 2 times a year. And 90% of them have been to these sort of like big hitting destinations. So we're always looking for a way to try and entice them back there, or to try and find, a new way to tell the story of that destination. So that's really important, I think, to think if you do represent a destination like that, that's what we're looking for. So some examples in the issue coming up that I commissioned, we're sending a writer to Sri Lanka, to Weligama, which is a really well-known destination, but we're looking at locally run businesses there. So how can we support local entrepreneurship rather than those sort of like bigger sort of chain resorts, for example. Cav's got another example. I know he's just been back from his spiritual home, Las Vegas, as well. So, and again, because we have covered it a lot in the magazines, it's like, what are we looking for? How can we approach it in a slightly different way? So over to Cav.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. Yes, anyone who knows me knows my love for Las Vegas, and I've been to Las Vegas, probably every year for the last 10 years, bar the COVID years, and it's actually somewhere that we deliberately hadn't really covered much in the magazine at all, because it was, trying to find that unique angle. Everyone knows about the Strip, so the story that I worked on when I went to Vegas was actually around the origins of Las Vegas, and actually some of the kind of experiences and places that you can go that most people wouldn't have even known existed. So a place called kind of Springs Preserve, which is actually the origin of Las Vegas, can be traced back to there. The only reason why Las Vegas exists in the first place was because there was springs in the valley that allowed travelers to actually stop there. So, really looking at some of those local, really authentic stories that showcase the destination. And in this particular story, I don't mention the Strip at all. So, it just goes to show that you can actually tell the story of a destination that's really well known without actually really talking about the sort of the big hitters, the main sites. But I think the key is trying to find something that's really unique, and for someone who may have been there, as many times as I have, or our readers, telling them something that they didn't know, or giving them a reason to actually want to go back and experience a place.
And I think
I'll just take as well. I'm sorry. We're also looking at, covering second cities as well in Journey, definitely. So we wanted to, for example, talk about a Greek city. So rather than doing Athens, we're looking at Thessaloniki, which, is obviously less visited. But, there's some great stories coming out from there. Anything that, like perhaps like a new national park as well, like in a certain region, or a new food scene that's emerging as well, or a new creative art scene. All of those things are great hooks for us, and a way of that we can talk about a sort of like, a well-visited destination in a different way. Sorry, James.
No, that's right. I was just going to say, obviously the US is a divisive destination at the moment, but certainly, the top holiday destination for British people at the moment. And whilst, some of my avocado munching, flat white drinking friends might be shunning it a little bit at the moment, it's still, it's still far and away the most popular place for British people to go to, which means that not every, but most places in the USA are very, very well covered and saturated. And it's for that reason, partly the political situation over there, and partly because of telling new stories and different stories. I'm really interested in stories that highlight minority groups, immigrant communities, the lived experiences of Black and Indigenous Americans, for example. So rather than talk about Mississippi as the birthplace of the blues for the 1000th time, let's be honest, I'm more interested. Recently I commissioned a story about a rewilding project that took place on and spent farmland in Mississippi, which is a completely different angle to it, and makes you, and it works on two levels. There's a worthy aspect of it. At points when national parks are being defunded, there are still people out there who are creating state parks, which I think is both inspirational, a little bit reassuring for the travelers who are maybe shunning the US a little bit more than they once did. I think it's really important to tell the story that there are loads of communities, there are loads of people who are passionate about social justice, about the environment, about wildlife, and stories like that. So again, rather than telling a story about the Ozarks as an outdoors destination, I sent an American writer to explore the LGBTQIA plus and queer friendly destinations on a road trip through the Ozarks with his husband. And so these are the sorts of stories that I'm interested in. You've heard of the Ozarks, you've seen Ozark on Netflix, but there are facets to America that people really don't know about and don't see, and it's very easy to pigeonhole it all as one thing, and it really isn't. So that's what I'm looking for. So tell me something that's unusual. If you're going to pitch me, please tell me something unusual about America, stories about communities and people, and something that for me at the moment is inclusive.
James, let me just keep you on camera for a second and build out from there. You're very interested in commissioning or local people for stories, or focusing on local people for content. And great travel essays are so often based around the characters. So how can PRs who pitch to you better highlight local characters, local artisans and guides in their initial pitches to get you interested?
I think it can be difficult because for you guys, as PRs, because the people that I most want to talk to are less likely to already have great connections with the local tourist board, and by extension international PRs. Yeah. So it's difficult. I know some of the people you may work with are genuinely incredible, I'm sure, and if so, please do tell me about them. Always interested to hear stories, particularly about people, particularly about community leaders or people doing things interesting in the space of tourism. Always want to hear about Indigenous tourism, for example, and people taking back and controlling the narrative of their own destinations, and that's really important to me. Personally, I also think just when you're thinking about putting together itineraries and stuff like that, though, particularly if you're looking at community tourism and people, it would be great if PR people, and probably not so much you, but the destinations you represent, if you could influence them to factor some free time into itineraries rather than packing days out with scheduled meetings and activities from dawn till dusk. And I think 3-hour lunches. I do not need a 3-course lunch. You've seen me. I do not need another 3-course lunch. So instead, it'd be great to have some time to just have free time with the itinerary to go out, to point us in the right direction. You know, there's X, Y, and Z here, but if there's time in an itinerary, particularly on a press trip, to get out into the community, we will find your stories. We will meet the artisans and makers and the community leaders. We will find the story for you, and it will feel less forced, and I'd say we'll be more passionate about it, because we'll give ourselves a pat on the back and think we've done a really good job finding it for ourselves. But yeah, as far as destinations, as far as artisans and makers go, by the way, I don't want to hear about your destination's craft beer scene ever again. Please don't talk to me about craft beer.
Send us to Simon.
Yeah. Actually, on that note, on a more serious note, folks, also, Henry, what you said there, finding the characters, the people that make a destination. Ultimately, travel stories are people stories, right? So any people that you feel are, you know, fantastic storytellers, excellent characters, they sound like perfect guests for the podcast as well. So then it can be a more one-to-one focused conversation with that person, rather than necessarily trying to crowbar in a travel angle if necessary.
Yeah, that's really really great for the podcast. What kind of guests are you on the lookout for, actually, Si? Because it's such a great program.
Thank you very much. All sorts. I mean, we've had everybody from. Thank you, guys. Everybody from. I mean, CMOs of marketing. You know, of CMOs, as in chief marketing officers of DMOs, down to a guy who runs a small independent tour company in Austria, through to actual astronauts, through to people who make cheese in a hut on the Swiss Alps.
Yeah.
You know, all of these people have absolutely nothing in common apart from the fact that they're excellent storytellers. And these are the types of people that we want to be talking to.
Brilliant. So PR's pitch some great ideas there.
Please do. Sure. Please do.
Yeah. Questions coming in thick and fast. I'm going to ask one very quickly to Cav, which I think can get a very quick answer, but I feel it's a compelling question. It's from Casey Mead, who now I think runs CM Communications. Has Cav been to the Double Down Saloon dive bar in Las Vegas? Yes or no?
Yes. Love it.
Why do you love it? Why do you love it, Cav?
I mean, it's kind of, for me, it's kind of like Vegas in a bar, basically. It's exactly what you'd expect when you go to somewhere like Vegas. It's brilliant.
Brilliant. Vegas in a bar, love that. So I've got a question from a freelance journalist, Phil Thomas. Thanks to the Journey team for their time, really insightful. Freelancer questions to both Lauren and Si. Maybe Lauren could start this one. What topics or themes do you wish you received more pitches on?
Ooh. And destinations, do you say?
Well, just pitches generally, or what are you on the lookout for at the moment?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as I said, we cover such a broad range of topics and themes in Journey. I mean, destination-wise, we really are looking for South America stories. Japan rates really well as well. But again, we're not looking for those like big hitting sort of places. You know, it's the smaller destinations. It's something a bit more off-key, offbeat that we're looking for from journalists at the moment.
Fantastic.
And sorry, Henry, I'll just add to that, just from a kind of an overall point of view. I mean, I would highly recommend that, you know, the first thing you can do as a freelancer is actually just read the magazine. You know, the amount of times that we get people pitching in things that it just doesn't feel like it's a journey story. So I think actually just reading, you know, a couple of copies of the magazine or flicking through it, you'll be able to get a sense of actually what types of stories we run. Also, the other thing I would add, which is I think is a really good kind of aid for freelancers, is just subscribing to a digital copy of the magazine. It's only £5 a year to subscribe to Journey for a year. That gives them access to both JRNY and JRNY America on a digital platform. We've got a great search functionality in there, so they can literally go in, search the story, search the destination to see what has been run in the past, and that will stop you pitching in something that might have already run in the previous issue and give you an opportunity to actually read some of the stories as well. So
cool. Yep. I've had a couple of questions from journalists just saying that the website is saying we don't accept pitches from freelancers. Is that, I mean, clearly you do, but is that because of inundation? Are there any kind of guidelines you can give here? Maybe Lauren, you want to say something?
Yeah, so I understand the website, we don't particularly commission out, but definitely for JRNY we do. And that's the best way through the website, is to go on submissions@jrnymag.com. I may not get back to you immediately, but we will get back to you definitely at some point. As a freelancer myself, that's what I'm really making it a mission to do, so that it could take a few weeks, but I will try and get back to everybody that's written in with an idea. And we are having some like really fantastic ideas coming through. I also wanted to add that, you know, if you're not successful and we don't commission this time, it's generally nothing to do with the idea. It's mainly because, you know, perhaps we've already covered that destination, or we have sort of like a similar kind of theme feature in that issue as well. So please don't be disheartened, and please do get in touch again.
Okay, terrific. That's good to hear. Casey Mead is on the case again. This is for James. James, buckle up for this one.
Oh,
James,
Casey.
Yeah, here we go. Casey says, you must visit Slow Jamistan. I am the high priestess of Hot Damastan, a state within. It's bordered by California between San Diego and the Salton Sea. It's an incredible part of the world. Bombay Beach, Slab City, etc. So many stories to tell. Does that get you interested, James?
I am interested, yeah. I mean, are you going to provide the a bag of any sort of stimulants or anything to keep me going throughout that experience, Casey? Sounds like you know your onions. Yeah, I'm aware of it. I haven't spent much time there myself at all, but yeah, those are the stories I'm interested in. I am interested in counterculture. I am interested in the offbeat and the unusual, and particularly at the moment, people who perhaps are not so much invested in mainstream thoughts in the US. I think there are, as I said, there are loads of incredible, amazing people doing weird and wonderful things. And yeah, so yeah, if do you represent Slow Jamistan, Casey? Do you want me to? I'm busy until July, but then I can pop over with you if you like.
Fantastic. Good. No more questions from Casey today, I'm afraid. We haven't got time for them, but thanks for
She's
the ones.
blocked.
So well done, Casey. So I've got a question from Alicia Sheba. I'm sorry, I don't know your company, and I'm looking at the sheet, but there's a question about do contributors need to... Sorry, where's Alicia from?
She's a journalist. She's a guild member.
Fantastic. Alicia, thanks for your question. Do contributors need to provide photography as well? So we've got the question of, do journalists need to provide photography? But also, and I'm going to maybe go to Cav here first. You know, you're a visually driven publication, and that's what helps you decide on many of your features clearly. So with PR pitches, do you like PRs to include a fully formed visual concept and maybe pre-vetted local photographers for you to work with? Or do you prefer to visualize quietly and coolly from the comfort of your own desk?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And actually, photography is such a big part of JRNY. It's one of the key kind of factors that our readers love about the magazine, and it's constantly ranks quite highly in terms of when we ask our readers what they love about it. When it comes to pitches, absolutely. I think if you are a PR, please do let us know if photography does exist for that destination. We have had to turn down stories in the past because we couldn't get the right photography. But it's also really important to know if the photography is available already, or if it's something that we need to do. Generally speaking, if the photography isn't available already, for our bigger features, we will generally send a writer and a photographer out to the destination to photograph it, because we want that exclusivity on the photos. If the photography does exist, then please do let us know that it exists. Needless to say that when we're talking about photography in JRNY, we don't mean smartphones. It has to be taken by a professional full frame camera. I won't get too technical about it. And we do have very, very high quality control. I actually check every single photo myself. So if it's not quite right, it won't feature. But yeah, definitely do let us know if photography does exist. I would also highly, highly recommend PRs when you are actually putting a press trip together, group press trip together. Always invite a photographer on that group press trip to be able to then supply photos. It's incredibly difficult to kind of commission someone that's gone on a press trip and then there's no photography, and then we have to set up another trip for someone else to go and get the photos. But if you already have the photography out there, that does make it a lot easier.
Terrific, Cav. Thanks for that. And actually, yeah, Lauren, go ahead.
Sorry, also to add as well, we are looking to do more individual press trips, sending out writers and photographers together to destinations. It just allows us to get a little bit deeper into the story than a group trip, which isn't to say we won't do group trips as well, but we are looking to do more individuals. So please do get in touch if that could be an option. Thank you.
And
James.
also, I'll also echo a lot of that. If PRs do have image libraries, that'd be really helpful, because I've got a bit of a habit of commissioning stories about lesser visited destinations, and thereby frustrating our wonderful picture editor Heike and our wonderful designer Joe, who go, "This is a great story, James. We haven't got any photos for it." So yeah, please do let me know in advance if you've got photography already. If I'm maybe sending a non-photographer from the US out there, that'd be great.
And actually, back to you, Lauren, on press trips, because we've had a great question from Izzy Turner Hicks of Lemongrass. So, are the team open to group trips with other journalists? And indeed, are you open to group touring with the public, like fitting in with a public trip?
Yeah, I've done a few of those myself, actually, and I quite like that because it gives you, a really authentic experience. They're not, quite often when it's a group of journalists, you're treated with the VIP sort of experience all the way. Whereas actually, if you're with paying customers, then you get to see how their trips really genuinely, authentically run. So I think it's really case by case basis. We will definitely join those kind of trips, and we will still do group trips. We'd probably just ask that the major, competitors to Journey aren't on those trips, but PRs are very well versed in that anyway. But as I say, yeah, we're really looking forward to doing some more individual ones as well.
Where would you say the majority of your output is sourced from, individual or group?
It's a bit of both, really, at the moment. Yeah, definitely. As I say, we're not saying no to groups, but I just think for the larger stories, definitely the individual trips seem to be working better for us.
Fantastic. Casey Mead is trying to ask another question. I'm not going to ask it.
I think Casey should be rewarded.
He just wants to shout out. Casey Mead. Right.
She just like advertising her destination, just getting you to read out the places she represents. It's very clever marketing, Casey.
It's really smart.
Thank you, Casey. We appreciate it.
Yeah, really. Enough already. Josie Sharp from Finn, PR from Finn and freelance journalist. Going back to photography, Cav, just one little thing. Does all photography have to be original, or will you use tourism board photography stock?
Yeah, absolutely. We use a lot of tourism board stock photography, providing that it's firstly of good enough quality, but also the one thing as well is that it just has to look authentic. We don't want the kind of the marketing shots of a couple sort of walking hand in hand on the beach. We want it to look like real photography of what real people experience, rather than something that's clearly been staged for marketing.
Fantastic. Right, I'm going to ask a question from Jamila from Jamazing Travels, a Florida-based travel writer and content creator. Likes to focus on culture, history, and community storytelling. I can sense Draven will have an answer here, particularly highlighting overlooked narratives and local perspectives. You mentioned looking for stories that go beyond the obvious and uncover unique angles. For freelance writers who focus on those kind of stories, what makes a destination pitch stand out in the first place? That would make you consider commissioning a story. So how should she get noticed for the kind of stories she loves to write?
I mean, the elevator pitch. I guess you want to get your subject line in the. So you want to get your main subject in the subject line, so that I read it. Maybe put my name in there so I know that you're actually pitching me, rather than sending it to 1,000 people at once. And cut to the chase quickly. I do want to know. I do want to see your clippings. I do want to read what you've written, and I do want to hear about you. But if you've got a weird, unusual, interesting, inclusive, or culturally, or any kind of significant story that's out of the ordinary, get it in the subject line, get it at the top of the email, and then I'll read on. Because as Lauren says, we are inundated, and we are all freelance and part-time as well. So, if I see insert name here at the top of an email, it doesn't even get read, if I'm really honest. So yeah, I want to know that you've read the magazine, and you know who you're pitching. That's it.
Cool.
And then, Henry, can I just add to that? And actually, Simon could attest this as well. One of the big things I would say is just make sure you're pitching to the right person, or if we're sending a call out, make sure you're following the guidelines on a call out. The amount of times that someone sends a pitch in, for example, we have a specific submissions at journeymag.com for pitches, and someone will send it to like info@journeymag. that pitch might just get lost. We get so much, we get customer questions in those inboxes, or if we've specifically requested that it goes to a particular editor and you send it to the info page, that's probably not going to get seen. So it's really, really important to actually take the time and make sure that you're pitching to the right person, and then following the guidelines. If we've asked for a pitch on a particular destination, that's the one we're going to pitch. So don't pitch somewhere else, because we're not going to be looking for that. So really, really follow the guidelines, make sure that you're pitching to the right person, and also you're actually offering what it is that we're looking for as well.
I'd like just to jump in and add that, for example, my JRNY inbox is, I'm the editor of JRNY America, US only content. My JRNY inbox is jammed daily with global destinations. I am a freelancer and I do freelance, but all that stuff should be going to my private account, which is jamesdraven@hotmail.com, old school. But my JRNY America inbox is full of non-US pitches. So yeah, so make sure that if you're pitching me at JRNY, it's US content. Otherwise, you're pitching the wrong person. You should be pitching Lauren or pitching me as a freelancer.
I'll just put a fine point on that as well. Thanks for your question, Jamila. For a bit of context, folks, I've actually commissioned Jamila a couple of months ago for a story that's coming out in the next JRNY America. And to a certain extent, Jamila, answering your question, the pitch you sent before was great. Like, more of the same. Tell us a little bit about why the story is relevant. So America 250, telling a broader story of the United States. That's bang on to what our call out was about. You tell us a little bit about yourself, Florida-based travel writer and cultural storyteller. My work focuses on uncovering lived experience, etc. Spot on. I mean, for me, that was a great pitch. So feel free to do more of the same.
Already nailed it.
And Simon, as you're there, maybe you can cover off this question, which two journalists asked, Sherry Telenko and Valentina Pucciano. For a pitch about Canada, which publication is it and who do we pitch to? This is journalists.
Thanks for your question, folks. Yeah, simple one for that. That'll be Lauren. So Lauren at JRNY Mag, JRNYMAG.com. She is our commissioning editor for everything that's not America, basically.
Very good.
USA.
Yeah.
Well, we call it JRNY America, but it is absolutely specifically the USA. Exactly.
Yeah. People do ask me about Canada quite regularly, and Mexico, but yeah, it's just the USA for me.
Just the USA, folks. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Canada will be great. That's a popular destination with our readers. So yeah, please do get some pictures into me. Thank you.
Interesting question from all of our friends. Alistair Mackenzie, Guild journalist. Hi, Alistair. Maybe Cav could answer this. How are your print titles distributed? So what is your distribution? What racking do you get?
Sure.
Yeah.
So JRNY, our biggest retailer is W. Smith's, as you would probably expect. We're both in high street and travel. We're also in a whole load of independent retailers, so news agents or kind of magazine shops and things like that. We're also in the US in Barnes & Noble, and again some independent retailers in the bigger cities. And that's across both JRNY and JRNY America. We also have agreements with a whole load of venues where we place complimentary copies of both titles. So things like airport lounges, things like gate services on certain routes. Eurostar Lounge is another one. So some of the top-end hotels, private jet waiting rooms. We also have a partnership with Cruise America, in which we place a whole load of JRNY America copies in their rental vans as well. So it's, broadly speaking, it's a kind of a wide range of destination venues. We are on sale in UK, Western Europe, most of the countries in Western Europe, and then selected other sort of English-speaking countries around the world, so Australia. We are actually in Japan, Taiwan, Canada, US, Mexico, Brazil. So it's quite widespreading in that regard.
Fantastic. I've got some more questions from kind of journalists looking to sort of break in. Let's see. Ren O'Flaherty says, awesome conversation, JRNY. Thank you. I'm a freelance journalist from an underrepresented community. Are there particular barriers you see that prevent journalists from marginalized groups from pitching successfully? And how do you address those? Maybe James, could you start there?
No, quite the contrary. I want you. I'm very, very keen to get to writers from underrepresented communities into the magazine. We are actively, if we're writing about Black American stories, we want that written by a Black person, because you don't want a white person trying to explain the Black experience to you. I'm looking to hire writers with disabilities to write about accessibility in the US. I'm already hiring LGBTQIA plus writers to share their experiences and to tell stories about queer friendly places in the US. So no, not at all. There are absolutely no barriers whatsoever, and do mention it. It's fine. And that's a broad range as well. There are very few working class people who manage to make it into the media. It can be a bit of a closed door for people who've come from poorer socio-economic backgrounds. So I do want to hear stories from people other than the white middle classes, definitely.
Good answer. Thanks, James. So question to Lauren and Si on commission. Sorry, Lauren, did you want to say something?
Henry. Oh yeah.
I'm not hearing you.
I was just gonna add the same on me as well. We're commissioning writers. Can you hear?
You're sort of coming back. Does everyone else have a...
No, she's breaking up a bit.
Lauren.
Try again.
Okay. Hi. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. I was just going to say absolutely the same on JRNY. We're commissioning writers to write about accessibility. Also, we actually have a story coming up, which is somebody with ADHD having an experience in a travel destination, and how that's different to somebody, without those sort of challenges. I think also PRs can really help with those writers as well, and I'd really encourage them to work with writers, so that we do have different voices in the magazine and we do have different perspectives. It's really, really important.
Very, very good. Thank you, Lauren. That was all loud and clear. Appreciate that. So I think to Lauren and Si, I think Si, are you finished on the America 250 issue? You're not taking
So we are, we're writing, editing, and sorting out pictures for it now, but we're no longer commissioning because it's got to be ready really soon. So in terms of like commissioning for future issues, that's back to James. Okay,
that would be a great read. But to you and Lauren, then it's a question on what are you next commissioning for? We've got Emiz Maxco, who says Lauren mentioned she's commissioned up to October. What is the next issue you're working on after that? What's the overall theme? What are you looking for? And ditto Si with JRNY America. But to Lauren first.
Hi, thanks for the question. So we're putting June to bed at the moment. October is pretty much commissioned, but there will still be space for news stories. And we're also looking for South America content. So if you have been to South America recently, any of the countries in South America, please do get in touch with your pictures, because we're still looking to commission those. And then after that, around sort of July time, we'll be looking to commission for January. We are, we're being cautious because obviously the travel landscape is changing. We have had to pull a writer recently who is going sort of out to the Middle East. But we're going to sort of carry on commission for the January issue. So please do send over your commissions, submissions at jrnymag.com through the website. Thanks so much.
And Si on America?
It's probably best to pass it across to James for that one moving forward.
I mean, I know I've jokes about being a slacker, Henry, but I do actually do something.
I'm going to throw him under the bus.
You're going to be back at the helm soon.
I shall be back at the helm. I'm just coming up the last couple of weeks of the deadline in my book, so I'll be like, Si will be tagging me back in and wearing a tiny pair of pants as he does so. Sorry, I'm imagining him as a wrestler now. Our next issue after Si leaves at the end of his glorious reign, with the 250th anniversary issue, I'll be coming back on board for the outdoors issue, which is going to be coming out around fall or autumn, as we say over here. That's about half, 3/4 commissioned already. But if you've got any great ideas, do shout. I do want to hear about unusual outdoors destinations. And again, we talked about underrepresented voices. I really want to hear about from writers with disabilities or mobility issues about the outdoors for people with disabilities, because obviously there's it's amazing the amount of times you read guidebooks and things, or visit a place and it's just something that could be accessible isn't. So I'd be really interested in hearing any stories about accessible outdoors in particular. So please do send pictures over. I will be back on board early July. I'll actually be in Kyrgyzstan, but I'll be back on board early July. So that's when you should start sending pictures either via the submissions address you've heard about, or you can pitch me at james@jrnymag.com. The issue after that, we're going for a coastal issue. So that's not necessarily going to be the best beaches in the US. We're going to be looking at, I'll be looking at things like mangrove ecosystems, or historic trails, and anything unusual and interesting. Again, that should always be your focus, but there'll be a coastal issue coming up after that. We are planned until the end of next year, really. So I won't divulge too much of what we're doing, but we're going to have there'll be a wildlife issue thereafter as well. So again, I would like to hear about any particularly great and unusual wildlife experiences in the US, and obviously conservation efforts and stuff like that. As I said, the national parks are under threat, and there's a lot of so I would particularly like to hear about unusual, undervisited, and rewilding and conservation around coastal, outdoorsy, and wildlife themes around now. That's what you should be pitching at the moment, and yeah, that'll do for now, because otherwise we're going well into late next year.
Cool. I want to give everyone as many people a shout out as possible. Lauren, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I'd also just like to ask PRs, if you are working with any celebrities, sort of well-known people in the UK who are closely linked to a certain destination, please do get in touch as well, because as I said, we have this new interview slot in the magazine in JRNY, but it's also being filmed. So we had a lovely morning with Levison Wood at the Hotel Cafe Royal, and that's been filmed, and that will be coming up on the website as well. The interviews really do focus on the destination. It's about the experiences that celebrity's had in the destination. It's not an interview about the celebrity's life and their work, etc. So it's a really great opportunity to showcase a destination if you are working with anybody that's well known in the UK.
Cool. Super quick question for you, Lauren, because we've got to finish at the top of the hour. I know some of you have a hard stop. Louise Cameron Hall specializes in adventure travel, just come back from motorbiking Lake Malawi, is going to look at kite surfing, kite foiling in Morocco, etc., etc. Are you interested in offbeat activity adventures?
Yeah, absolutely. Adventure is definitely like one of my things that I love as well. And yeah, adventure works really well in JRNY. Everything from hiking, we've got a canoe trip in the issue that's coming up as well. So definitely adventure is on our radar. So yeah, looking forward to hearing about what you've been up to. Thank you.
I apologize to anyone whose questions I didn't ask, and I didn't ask the follow-up questions from some of you who posed questions earlier on, but just apologies, lack of time. The final question goes to PR Katie Crow. Hi, Katie. And I think Cav can answer this one. Hey, JRNY team, thank you so much for an insightful discussion. Great to see you looking so well, all of you. Cav, will you be launching any other JRNY magazines? JRNY Latin America, JRNY Asia Pacific, JRNY Sports. Where are you going with the brand, Cav?
No, I think to stop the team having a heart attack, I think I'll stick with the two titles that we have at the moment. I mean, we're publishing 7 issues of the magazine, which is actually more than some other magazines out there. So I think we are sticking to what we have at the moment. However, a little teaser to end with, we have got a special hotel supplement that's going to be coming out in the start of next year. So if you are and that is going to be entirely kind of pay to play. So if you are a PR that look after hotels and want to find out more, drop me an email. But yeah, no, we're sticking to JRNY and JRNY America for now.
There's going to be a JRNY Nights, I can tell.
JRNY Las Vegas. If I was to do one, it would be JRNY Las Vegas.
Vegas first. Vegas, baby. Well, look, panel, you've been utterly brilliant. It's been a riveting hour. Thank you all so much to Cav Dadfar, Lauren Jarvis, James Draven, and Cy Wilmore. You've been so brilliant. And to our audience, thank you for joining us, and thank you for the questions. I'm Henry Hemming. Hope to see you at the TravMedia Awards. Come up and say hi. Lovely having you, and bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. And thanks to TravMedia for all your support over the last many, many years. We do appreciate it.
It's TravMedia's absolute pleasure, Si. Cheers, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks.
Take
Bye.
care, folks.